everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing really well. Today I wanted to discuss the products that I would buy straight away if my entire makeup collection just ceased to exist. Obviously this probably won't happen, but it's a fun idea and I thought that I would go through and talk about the products that I would immediately run out and repurchase. I did try and think about products that would be most versatile in my collection. So let's say I had to use these products and these products only for a month before I could go out and buy anything else. So I really tried to pull products together that are going to be versatile, that will serve me for many different looks that I might want to do, whether it be evening or just a normal day-to-day look. So I have got quite a lot of products here. Obviously, realistically, if this were to happen, I probably wouldn't be able to afford to buy all of these things in one go, but it's just a video, it's fun. So I hope that you enjoy. If you do, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you're not already. And if you want to see the products that I would immediately repurchase, then just keep watching. So I'm gonna start with my base products. And I would probably buy a primer. I know not everybody thinks primers are super necessary. And if you're using a good moisturizer, if you have a good morning skincare routine, then maybe you won't feel the need to reach for a primer. I personally always use a primer pretty much every day. And so I wanted one that was gonna give me a bit of hydration, a bit of radiance as well, and just overall make my complexion look a little bit more alive. And for me, that is the NARS Radiance Primer. This is a really good one. If you are looking to brighten the skin, add a tiny bit of glow, but it's not illuminating. It is definitely more of a kind of brightening, radiant, boosting primer. I also really like the texture of this. It gives my skin enough hydration, but it also allows my foundation to stick onto it a little bit. So I do really enjoy this one. And I think if I could only have one primer, I think this is the one that kind of does everything that I would want a primer to do. Foundation was quite tricky, but again, I was just thinking, okay, what foundations are going to be most versatile that I can use during the day and at night as well. And so the first one is my MAC Face and Body. It works pretty much all year round for me. It's not too over the top glowy, but it does definitely give your skin a little bit more of a radiance boost. It's also quite a lightweight formula. So it's light to medium coverage, you can build it. It's one of those products, the more you buff into the skin, the more coverage you are gonna get from it. I know that this one always looks good no matter what my skin is doing, if it's a bit more oily perhaps in the summer, or if it's leaning a bit more dry. I know that this foundation is always going to look quite nice and it's just going to sit really well on top of the skin. It comes in so many shades and it's always a foundation that I will have in my collection. So yeah, I feel like for a day-to-day, super easy, throw it on and go foundation, this would definitely be it. If I am looking for a bit more coverage, this is also quite good to mix in with the MAC Face and Body. Again, just to boost the coverage a little bit. And then I would definitely repurchase the CATRICE True Skin. This went super viral last year, and it's still one that I reach for today if I want a really flawless, full coverage canvas. For me, if I've got something light and dewy for during the day and something that packs a bit more of a punch for the evenings, I'm covered and I would be really happy with that. This is very affordable as well, so it won't break the bank. There's not loads of shades, that's the only downside to this foundation. But for a full coverage foundation, it looks super smooth and flawless on the skin. Even if I've got some more dryness going on, I don't find this to be super unflattering. Even though, again, it is quite a thick full coverage product. I just really enjoyed this one, and I think if I mixed it in with my MAC Face and Body, I would get a really nice consistency. So I would definitely keep this one around. For concealer, I would probably only buy one. Something that is medium coverage, that can be sheared out if I want it to, or that I can build up for a little bit more of a high impact look. So the RMS Uncover Up would probably be the one that I would buy. I find this to be a really nice hydrating formula. It's creamy enough to use underneath the eyes, but it's not overly emollient, so it's not going to slip around or create a kind of odd film on top of the skin. I really like it. The coverage, it's pretty much straight bang in the middle, medium coverage, maybe leaning a little more on the light side, but For every day, it works really, really well. And it's also one that does cover enough. And you want to cover under eye bags or any blemishes or redness, you still get a really nice flawless look with this. So I do really enjoy this one. I have it in the shade 00, so it's quite light. It definitely brightens the skin, and because it is quite hydrating and creamy, it reflects the light really nicely as well. So if you're using it underneath the eyes, it just looks really, really nice. I would probably only buy one powder as well. I'm not a huge powder person. I do use it most days, but I can easily just have one in my collection. So I've gone for the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush powder. This is one of my favorites. As you can see, I've hit pan there. So yeah, definitely one that I use quite a lot. I just love how flawless this looks on the skin. It doesn't add a powdery layer. It does definitely help to take away any oiliness, but without leaving the skin looking flat. So I really enjoyed this one. If you have dry skin, I think this is an excellent powder to look into because it just looks super thin, super fine on the skin, but it does do a really good job at setting the makeup in place. Bronzer and blush was definitely quite tricky because they are my favourite categories of makeup to buy, but I think I would probably have a cream bronzer and a powder bronzer. That way I feel like I can get a nice juicy plump looking cheek if I wanted to, but I can also have a powder bronzer waiting in the wings if I do want something that's just a bit more smoothing on the skin, and also works well in the evenings if I want more of a kind of mattified bronze look. So for my cream, I've actually chosen my e.l.f. Putty bronzer. This is a really nice sheer formula, so I feel like it would work really well on those no makeup days where I don't want anything too heavy or too bronzy, but I do just want to shape the face ever so slightly. So this one is in the shade Tan Lines. Oh, I've got a couple of brush hairs in there. Delightful. Yeah, I really like the tone of this. As I said, it blends super easily into the cheeks, and yeah, the colour for me just works really nicely. For my powder option, I have chosen my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush bronzer. This is in the shade number 2, which is the medium, and I'm really happy I went for the shade 2 because it's quite a sheer powder. So for me to be able to use it through the spring, summer, autumn and winter, this is the shade that just works perfectly. Charlotte just does powders so beautifully. They always blend really nicely into the skin. They don't look chalky or too powdery. They don't cling onto your foundation that you've got underneath. They just always look super, super flawless, as the name would suggest. Yeah, this is a really nice, warm bronzer tone. Feels super silky, super soft to the touch. I feel like if you were to buy this, you wouldn't run out of it very quickly. So I feel like it's a really good investment product. So one of the reasons why I've chosen this one is because the tone is just really flattering for me personally. I've never come across a bronzer that I'm like, yeah, wow, that actually looks really nice. It just melts into the skin. It doesn't make me look too orange, but it's also not a super cool contour product. So I really do enjoy this one. So I've actually just chosen a powder blush, which might surprise some people, but I feel like if I've got a cream bronzer, I can use that to really plump my cheeks. I've also picked a cream highlighter, so I feel like that's my kind of cream cheek products covered. So I did just pick a powder blush, and I've gone for another Charlotte Tilbury one. This is in the shade First Love. I just feel like this is a really easy blush that goes with a lot of different looks. It's a really nice kind of satin finish on the skin, so it's not overly dewy, it's not overly matte, it's just the perfect in between. And again, the shade is just a really nice kind of dusty rose. And I feel like that's the kind of colour that I tend to gravitate towards the most. Clearly I am on a Charlotte Tilbury kick because I've also picked the Beauty Light Wand as my highlighter option. I just absolutely love this. I think it looks so beautiful and seamless on the skin. I've never really come across a highlight that just melts in as much as this one does. The tone as well for my skin, it just works so beautifully, and I find even though it is quite intense, because it just blends so beautifully into the skin, it does almost end up looking quite natural. So I really, really do enjoy this. I know these are incredibly hard to get hold of, but I think last time when I tried to link them, they were in stock, so hopefully they will still be in stock. Yeah, I just don't think you can beat this formula for a cream highlight. The packaging is a bit annoying with the sponge. It does get a tiny bit messy, but I can move past that for the formula. And again, it's a product that you can wear quite sheer, or you can build it up for more of an intense strobe look. So I really do like that. It's very versatile. I also feel like if you mix this in like a tiny bit with your foundation, you could get an incredible glow. For brows, I have again picked just one product because I feel like I could definitely get by with just using a tinted brow gel. This one is from e.l.f. and it's their Wow Brow. I just think a tinted brow gel, you can't go wrong. They're so easy and quick to use, but they do really make such a huge difference to the brows. This one from e.l.f. does have tiny fibers in there, so it's going to help to thicken the brows, define the brows, and also because it's a gel, obviously it's going to hold them in place as well. Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with a tinted brow gel, and if I only had to pick one eyebrow product, it would definitely be a tinted brow gel. I can pass on an eyebrow pencil or an eyebrow pen, and honestly I would be very happy just with this in my collection. Picking eyeshadows was quite tricky because I feel like that's where you can change your look the most. I feel like you can use the same foundation, concealer, etc., but you can create so many different eye looks. Yeah, it was quite tricky to narrow down, but I've chosen a cream eyeshadow. I have got a palette as well, but I thought, well, I would probably buy a cream eyeshadow first because they are very easy to use. I really enjoy them for day-to-day wear, but also you can kind of smoke them out a little bit more for the evening. This one is from Chanel and it's Patine Bronze. This is one of my all-time favorite cream eyeshadows. I am obsessed with this bronze tone. I think it's so flattering, and it's a really good day to night color as well because it's a tiny bit deeper, so you can really smoke it up and build it for an evening look if you want. But again, for day to day, it does add just a really nice bit of definition to the eyes. So I think just for, you know, just for ease and what I would genuinely probably wear day to day, I did have to pick a cream eyeshadow. I did also think to myself, well, I have to pick an eyeshadow palette. So I did also pick out my Tarte Tartelette in Bloom. This is a really nice, easy, everyday eyeshadow palette. You've got every neutral shade that you could need. You've got some cool tones along the bottom, and obviously you've got some warmer, rosy tones at the top. Some really flattering shades, very easy to create a lot of looks with this. You can get a really nice amount of depth with these shades here, but you've also got some nice shimmers if you want just like a really nice light spring look. So I think this would definitely be a palette that I would buy again. I think this is one of the best selling neutral palettes ever, and I can see why, because it's so easy, it's really versatile, you get a great range of colours to choose from. You get some mattes, some shimmers. I think it's just one of the most perfectly curated eyeshadow palettes. They really thought of everything, and you know, it's quite compact. The packaging is really nice and cute. So yeah, this would definitely be my eyeshadow palette pick. I did also want to throw a liquid liner into the mix. This won't be an essential for everyone, but I feel like if I had to just repurchase all of my makeup again, you know, what products can I throw in to really help kind of change my look and add a bit more drama and definition if I wanted. So for me, a liquid liner does just that. I'm more than happy to use eyeshadows to create a really nice day-to-day look, but if I did want to jazz it up a little bit, then I think a liquid liner is just the perfect addition. This one is from Wet n Wild. It is the Pro Line Felt Tip Eyeliner. This is a really nice one. It's super black. It has a felt tip nib. I prefer a brush tip, I will say, but I am getting along fine with this. I find that it wears really nicely throughout the day. It's really long lasting, and it's really easy to use, and it's super affordable. So this would be one that I would repurchase. I would be more than happy with one mascara as well. Normally I only have 2 or 3 mascaras on the go, so you know, I would probably just repurchase one, and it would probably be a drugstore option as well because they are a lot more affordable, and I find that they do the job just as well. So this is the Maybelline Lash Sensational. This is one that I've been using at the moment. I really like the curved wand. I find it to be a really nice mascara for defining the lashes, also adding a bit more length. It's not overly volumizing, but it does definitely give your lashes a little bit more oomph. But for me, just as a day-to-day mascara, I do really enjoy this one. I don't find it transfers or smudges, which is something that I look out for because that is something that I often struggle with quite a lot of mascara formulas, but this one doesn't, and it's really affordable and it's great. Maybelline make really good mascaras, so I would definitely pick this one up. Lips was quite tricky as well because again, there's so many different shades to pick from that can really switch up your makeup look. I've tried to be very realistic with myself in terms of what I would actually wear. So I have picked a lip liner to start with. I do like to start any lip look off with a bit of liner. So I've chosen one of my favorites, which is the NYX lip liner in the shade Natural. This is a really good, affordable liner. It glides on the lips, but it's not overly creamy, so I don't find that it bleeds throughout the day, or that when you're kind of drawing it on, you're kind of going all over the place because it's just, you know, too creamy. I don't find that I have any issues with this one. Really long lasting, and they have so many different shades to choose from. I find this one to be a really easy, everyday rosy mauve shade, which suits my natural lip colour really nicely, and it also pairs well with quite a lot of other lip colours. Again, I think if I was being realistic, I would probably just want to pick up a couple of tinted balms. I've got the lip liner, so if I wanted a matte lip, I can pretty much just make sure that I'm using a good lip balm and then go over with the lip liner, and obviously that's going to create a little bit more of a evening appropriate lip, something a bit more matte. But day to day, honestly, I just reach for tinted lip balms, which are really easy to use. So this one here is from Fresh. I really like these because they are very, very moisturizing, and this color is a really nice warm nude. This is the shade Spice. So yeah, it's a really nice warm nude. These are really easy to apply. They are quite pigmented for a tinted lip balm. So if you were going for one of the deeper shades, I would say just be careful upon application. They are very balmy and very slippy, but it makes them incredibly comfortable to wear. Yeah, this is a really nice warm shade, a really nice one for the autumn and winter. And then lastly, a lip product that's so easy to throw on. I think if somebody asked me if you could only have one lip product in your collection, what would it be? I do genuinely think I would pick this, which is quite a bold claim, but I stand by it. And it's the Bobbi Brown Oil Infused Gloss in the shade New Romantic. This is the colour of my lips. It's like my lip colour, but in a really nice, hydrating, nourishing lip gloss formula. These are not sticky at all. They are so, so comfortable to wear. And again, I think the colour is really what sold me on this, because it just melts into my lips and it just makes them look really nice and plump. It's super easy to throw on throughout the day. It's got a really nice, just simple kind of doe foot applicator. And I just love this. I think it is such a it's the perfect lip gloss formula for me. I am absolutely obsessed, and they feel so nice on the lips. I can throw it in my handbag, and if I'm kind of touching up throughout the day, I know it's just gonna give my lips a little bit more juice, a little bit more life, and it's just going to make them look really nice and hydrated. So those are all of the products that I would immediately go out and repurchase if I woke up one day and my collection was no longer. I feel like you can almost use this video as like a makeup starter kit reference if you wanted to. I know that for me, these products just really make up the core of my makeup collection, and you can add things in here and there if you want to switch up your look, but yeah, these are the products that I really know I couldn't live without, so I would have to repurchase immediately. So if you enjoy, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.